Hi, Harvard. It's me, Mr. Yi. I wanted to send a message to all of us here as we begin our Quad 2 semester at Harvard. First of all, to all you students, and students, teachers, parents actually are going to be viewing this as well. But first of all, to you students, I want to say congratulations. You guys did an amazing job pulling through and learning during this time of COVID and in a situation that we've never experienced. And the Quadmester one, I think, was quite successful. It's because of your efforts and your commitment to your learning and your want to be the best you can be that has allowed you to be as successful as possible during this first Quadmester. And so congratulations to you, well done. I'm so proud of you. I also want to say a heartfelt thank you to all of the staff. The teaching staff have been amazing. They have been, I will say, really so flexible, so understanding, so caring that I would have never believed that we as educators could have pulled this off in terms of the teaching, the shifting, the pivoting, all of those things. And that's because our educators, our teachers are incredible people, and they have been quite resilient and quite, they've been really all-stars. That's how I would put it. And so thank you to all of you teachers out there, Harvard teachers, for all the work you've done and your patience, your understanding, your flexibility, and your continued work this year, because we're going to head into the Quad 2. And parents, thank you for being patient and understanding with us at Harvard in our Quad 1 learning. It's been a learning, I would say, process for all of us, including myself here. We've learned how we could try and do things better. We've learned how we can try and do things in a COVID situation, COVID times, virtually, face-to-face, hybrid model, all of those things. So thank you for your continued patience. But as I talk about this, I'm going to speak more to students now. And students, although I've congratulated you on a Quadmester that you've done quite well in, I do think that we can be better. I, as a leader, as a person, always think that I can be better. And I think I want you to always look at that as how you can be better. And so as we start Quad 2, I really want you to think about certain things that will help you be more successful in Quad 2. In particular, the virtual learning aspect. We have a number of students that will be learning engage in virtual learning for their entire timetable, not just the 2 p.m. period, but the entire timetable. And so what does that look like, and how can we be better with that? And so what I'm going to share with you here is a document that we are going to be asking all of you students to sign and to acknowledge and to go over. So I'm going to do that right now. And if you allow me to share there. And what that is I hope you can see that it's the Harvard CI Virtual Learning Expectations. It's our Quad 2 participation guidelines. We've learned that there's things that we together can do better. And so as students, this is what I would like you to do. First of all, as I said, your teachers will be reviewing this with you and having you sign in face-to-face class. Those of you that are virtual learners, you will be submitting this and sharing it with your teacher after you've typed in your name right here. But number one, we want you to review and acknowledge the TDSB online code of conduct. And that is something that you can access through the TDSB, but it's so important to remember that we do have an online code of conduct, and we expect you to be the best you can be, and we know you will. Here, what's going to happen is you're going to sign your name after you've read all of this. And the key things are here are Harvard virtual learning expectations. Number one, we want you to dialogue with the parent, your parents, and parents, you're listening as well. Discuss and review with your parents your commitment to being an active participant in the virtual classroom. An enriching learning environment requires interaction and engagement from both the teacher and student. Discuss and review the virtual attendance needs of your courses in Quad 2 with your parents. This is important. We're a partner. We're doing this together. We want you and your parent to understand the expectations with the virtual learning in our hybrid model, along with all of our virtual learners who are learning at home completely. Attendance, make every attempt to attend all classes. That's virtual and face-to-face. If a class is missed, in particular with virtual, it's the student's responsibility to catch up on the work that they have missed. And the attendance will be taken each day by your teacher, 8:45. So if you're a virtual learner, you need to log on at 8:45 with your teacher. And of course, at the 2 p.m. class, which we're all used to. You want to make sure that you log on to your courses on time. And also, what's also new in Quad 2 is that there will be an acknowledgement of the asynchronous learning that happens on the next day. So whether you're a virtual learner or a face-to-face learner, on cohort day 1, day 2 for you will have asynchronous learning. And that asynchronous learning is really important because that is learning that helps you learn the curriculum, demonstrating the expectations of the course. It's not just homework, because homework is provided outside of that. This is the learning that you can do or need to do for the course, but you can do it independently. And so every day during the asynchronous day time slot, you are going to be expected to acknowledge that you've engaged in it, you've seen it, and that you are learning. And so there will be more instructions or more information given by a teacher on what that looks like and how you acknowledge that you've seen the posted work for that day, the asynchronous work. Then the key point here is the next point, and which is something that we as Harvard teachers and educators expect and want you all to do. Be an active and engaged learner. That's so important in the virtual learning environment. So with any classroom, in person or virtual, active participation and engagement is expected and required. For virtual learning, this is even more important, as the enriching virtual classroom that we all want requires engagement through interaction and participation. So what does active engagement look like? What does an engaged participant look like? Well, a student who does one or more of the following. And so we're going to talk about these. Engage in the learning by turning on the microphone when participation is requested. I know that it's not good to turn on the mic the entire time because it disrupts the teacher, but certainly when requested, I as a student need to turn on that mic and participate in the learning. No different than when in the classroom we ask a student's participation, we're going to ask on you, and it's expected that you respond with the feedback, whether you have learned or whether you understand the concept. That's so important. You can also do that by engaging in the learning by typing significant chat responses. So if you're not able to turn on the camera, you're not able to turn on the mic, you can type in the chat that's a great point, sir. I absolutely understand that concept. Or, Miss, I have a question related to slopes. That's how we engage in the learning, because we want that. The next point here is engage in the learning by participating in poll questions. So often teachers may ask a poll question to ascertain whether the students have understood the concept or they would like some feedback on a certain concept. Please, when a teacher's requesting reflection or feedback, do so. Answer that. And the point that I talked about a little bit earlier, engage in the learning by turning on the camera. Turning on the camera can be really important, because then even for myself, when I have virtual meetings with whether teachers or administrators or board people, I get to see and I react to their facial expressions. I can understand whether they get it or not. And as a teacher, that is so important. It's so hard to teach to a black screen. It feels like a monologue, and I don't want monologue. It's not about me saying something. It's about me interacting with you as a learner so that I can capture what you don't understand and what you do. And that's really important. And so if at all possible, turn on your camera. Also engage in the learning by asking questions and clarifications where that is needed. And as I said, in order to have the greatest success, we want you to be the engaged learner by demonstrating all of these virtual learning classroom expectations. That's what we would like. And so we know you're going to do that. We know you're going to be better at the virtual learning in Quad 2, because that's an expectation that we have, and I know you have of yourself. So with your parents, we're going to work together to make sure that happens. If you have any issues that impact your engagement or participation, please speak with the teacher individually. They will work with you in trying to help you get the most out of the courses and for us to be able to help you learn. Communicate with your Harvard family. That's so important. Communication is essential to success and is a two-way process. Please connect with your teachers consistently throughout the quadrimester. I say that wholeheartedly, and that is really important. You need to be able to communicate. And if you're in class face to face and you don't understand, you need to be able to put up the hand that you don't understand. You need to be able to communicate that. And virtually, you need to be able to do that through virtual means, whether through an email, whether through Google Classroom, or whatever it is, but you need to communicate. That is really important. If you're having trouble understanding the lesson and have difficulty with you know, what is happening, that's your opportunity to connect with the teachers. You have numerous opportunities to connect with the teacher. You know, in a quadmester system, things move pretty fast. So let's make sure that we, if we're not quite getting it, we talk to the teacher almost immediately. That's going to help you. The last point is, and sorry, with that, what I want to say is, besides your teacher, there's the guidance department that you can connect with, or a wonderful student success teacher who are there to help and support you. Your teachers are, you know, your first point of contact. Then there's guidance counselors and student success teacher. They can all help you. Together, we are here to help. That's why we're family. And so family helps each other. So let's do that. Listen to your body. Make sure you're listening to your body, your mind, and yourself. Virtual learning and learning in this environment isn't easy. You need to take care of yourself and your well-being. You need to take a break when needed. You need to go out and do physical activity. That's so important. It gets the endorphins going, gets you feeling full of energy. Go out and do physical activity somewhere. Doesn't mean that you're doing it necessarily with others. You can do it safely. Make sure you're doing some sort of physical activity, getting the body moving and going and being active. And you need to reach out to others. Being at home, learning virtually, sometimes you're in your home environment all the time. It's important to reach out to others, whether through social media groups, with your classmates, or through whatever means. But do reach out to others. We want you to connect. Connections are so important, and human connections are important. That's what we're about. So, with all that said, my saying this year is, at Harbord, we care for each other. Together, we are one. And so we're going to look after each other. We're going to care for each other, and we're the best. And I expect you to be the best, and I know you can. And in Quad 2, we're even going to be better than we were in Quad 1. What I would also say here is, in terms of information for the second quadmester, for a lot of you, you will be starting, obviously, different classes, but you may be entering now through a different entrance door. Just as a reminder, the entrance doors are, if you're on the first floor or basement, please enter through the southeast entrance. That's basement. In first floor, you enter through the southeast entrance doors. By 8:30, the doors will open. Make sure you get there early so that we can get you into the building. If you are in the second floor, you are entering through the northwest entrance doors. And finally, if you're on the third floor, which is where we have most of our classes, you get to enter through two doors. And those two doors are the northeast entrance and the southwest entrance doors. Northeast and southwest. Lastly, don't forget, at 8:50, you will be marked late because it's expected you're there in class, ready to learn. And at 8:50, after that, the only doors that remain open or unlocked for you to enter is the tennis court doors. So make sure you know that those are doors that you enter if you're coming in a little bit late. Lastly, what I'm going to say is, I think we've done an incredible job in keeping ourselves safe in the school, especially, but also in the community. But I know as we head into the more colder months, it's really important that we really continue our practices of safety, health, keeping us all safe, the health protocol practices. And that is, wear your mask, number one. Whenever you're interacting with people, you need to really wear your mask. Maintain physical distance is number two. Practice good hand hygiene. And of course, if you're not well, if you're ill, stay home. That's so important. I know that as we are in that second quad and in the winter months, our Toronto Public Health has adjusted and changed the expectations. And that has to do with, our community numbers are rising, but that it doesn't mean that we can't come to school and we can't be safe in school. What that does mean is we do have to change our practices. And that means making sure that we limit our contacts to our household contacts. If we do those things, we're going to be able to continue to learn together and learn together at Harvard. So I look forward to that. I wish you guys all the best in the second quad. I know you will be amazingly successful. You will all be phenomenal. And so let's get going. Let's do well. I know you can. Let's be even better than we were in the first quad. All right. Thank you.